Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 375. Got some people running late, but it's cool. I wanted to still start right around 9 o'clock if we could help it. So you'll probably see random people just popping in here and there, but it's cool. It's cool. We have a StreamYard, makes it pretty easy for that to work. But with some of the people here now, let's go around. We got OJ, Player Essence, holding up the pre-show course. How we doing, OJ?
It's pretty good. Pretty fun pre-show. Excited to talk about the stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. So looking forward to it. Evo weekend as well. So
yeah, we were just talking about Evo. I didn't have it in the topics that was going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
But Evan and I, we're looking at Evan the Capcom SNK game that dropped.
Yeah, SNK versus Capcom, the SVC Chaos game. It's good.
Yeah.
I played it in Neo Rage a lot. It was cool to see it release, and it's still cool to see that even though it's Capcom in the name, it's still SNK being like the publisher behind it. So that's nice to see them actually put something cool out.
And
yeah, I didn't even realize this. The screenshot shows 0 there. I didn't even realize that until just you mentioned that.
And we're not talking about this in the show at least, but the Hunter x Hunter gameplay looked so good. Oh my god, okay. I'm ready. Okay. I am ready. I am ready for that game.
Why, Evan? You didn't think it looked very good?
I think
it is what
awesome.
It is.
I think it looked awesome.
Is it like a 3D arena brawler again, or is it 2D?
2D fighter. It's like Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Okay. That kind of
Who's behind this one? Who's actually behind the Hunter x Hunter game? Let me take
80.
Oh, okay.
They made Marvel vs. Capcom 3. They made Naruto Clash of Ninja.
And that one did so well.
It did. There were so many sequels. That's like the best, dude. That's like the best Naruto game. Not saying much, but it's like the best fighting Naruto game out of all of them. People are upset, like when Bandai Namco bought the license to Naruto, people were like, what the hell? Now we can't get Clash of Ninja. But there was Clash of Ninja 1, 2, 3, 4. They made like a bunch of offshoots. They did decently. I mean, they reused the same engine and everything. So it was just like whatever, kind of like a reskin, which it was. No, it was basically a reskin. But it was the best like actual fighting Naruto game out of all of them. And they're the ones who made that. So when we went to Storm, Bandai Namco just bought the license. Nobody else can really make any like competing fighting games. So it sucked. All we get now is Ultimate Ninja, Storm, and most games are those games anyway.
Those Naruto games just blend in for me. I'm sorry. Like just going all the way back to like that generation PS2. I have a hard time telling any of them like apart necessarily. They all just feel very similar.
They're like there's like the Ultimate Ninja Storm. It used to be a 2D fighter. And then it went to the 3D in the PS3 era. But Clash of Ninja is like kind of like Tekken. It's kind of like it kind of plays more like that. It doesn't play like Tekken, but that's kind of like more of it, like you can move around in like a 3D space, like sidestep and things like that, or like Soul Calibur or whatever, right? So it's kind of more like that combo system. It's good. Like it's just a lot of people like it, and that's why people kept on buying it. It kept on doing well. But I mean, a lot of people buy Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm too. But this one actually had like a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit of like a competitive scene for Clash of Ninja. Like I went to like a 10-person tournament back in the day, and I still lost, but still, like, still got slept. But yeah, it's Aiding's making this one, the new Hunter x Hunter game. They're making it, so I mean, I think it's gonna be solid.
Yo, good to see Rax out in the chat.
Yo, shout out to Rax.
What's going on? Good to see Rax. Good to see Rax. Hey, Rax, you want to jump on? You can. We got like 3 people, so you want to jump in? Let me know. Yeah, and we of course have Evan. He's already been talking about stuff. Yeah. We got Evan here tonight as well. I wasn't sure if you guys were keeping up with Evo as it went along. I know people usually will watch it for any kind of announcements, hoping like something will happen there with fighting game community. But I don't know if you guys were paying attention to any of the games for competition right now.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of Street Fighter Third Strike. I thought it's always cool to see Third Strike, because that's like one of the most technical, best fighting games out there, and it's such a high display of skill to be good at that game, to be good at Third Strike, man, because I'm not good at it, but I played it a lot, so it's just cool, man. Evo is always a pretty fun weekend, but apparently it still stinks there. There's no Smash there, so you can't blame the Smash players for like the stench. So
yeah.
Turns out it was the staff all along.
It's the way it goes. Well, we do have some stuff to go over, which includes that Joy-Con charging station that was hilarious because it was so weird that got people talking about Switch 2. Nintendo World Championships is out now. I got a chance to play some of it actually, so we can discuss it. But I also played a little bit of Flintlock, which is that's an interesting one.
Something
College football 25 like blew up online. People are
blew up, man. I might actually get this Black Friday.
Yeah.
I might actually pick it up. I'm thinking about
Emio, we got the reveal for that. PS5 Pro is in the news. Concord is going through it right now. But I saw some people post up some comparisons for like, here's where we are now with gaming for multiplayer. Here's where we were 15 years ago or something. And I thought about like, wow, that is an interesting concept. So I threw in the greatest multiplayer generation where you can kind of go between them and see if it actually has gotten better or worse.
And the poll, we know what's happening. I already predicted in the comment section on Twitter what would happen, John.
And I polled Twitter X just to see what they would say, and we got the results. The results are in.
We'll talk about it later.
and we also had that tank. Yeah, the Halo TV show also got canceled. Apparently, not going to give up on it. So we'll see about that one. We'll see. I do want to recognize, got Tyler Rhodes, who said, "Hey Ryan, long time no see. Hope all is well." Well, there you go. Ryan will be back. He actually said he might be able to pop in a little later on. So Josie was saying Josie was having some internet struggles. So go figure. Varang said, "Thank you, Spawncast, for making my TMG trip a very memorable one. I had a blast, and it was awesome meeting you guys." Yeah, Varang saw Sean's live stream where he'd been drinking. And Sean told him to walk down from the hotel, and he did. He came down and saw Sean as he was on stream. So shout out to Varang. We have Game World saying, with Capcom releasing the Marvel's Capcom Collection, do you think we will see a Power Stone collection on current gen systems? Yeah, I hope so. That feels like that feels like easy money for them, but who knows? Maybe
I think it'll happen. They're kind of pacing themselves like with these collections coming back. We got the Mega Man Battle Network. We're getting the Ace Attorney ones. Now we've got Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. So they're kind of pacing themselves, and I think eventually they'll get to Power Stone. They'll get to hopefully Beautiful Joe. They'll get to some of these other older games.
TJ says, "I bought Sly Cooper on Vita, so why am I being charged for the PS5 copy? I thought Vita purchases of PS2 games carry over." Yeah, that is a good question, because I thought it tracked for, maybe that was only PS3 and PS console side. I don't know if the handheld stuff went between. I unfortunately have not been able to test that. I have PS1 games that I had bought on my Vita, but they haven't come to the PS5 in this new rollout of retro games. So I'll keep it on that, TJ. But I think a lot of the cross-buy stuff that they were talking about for retro stuff was like console versus just handheld. So, but I will test that at some point, I'm sure. Hey, if they bring, what do they have? Legends, like Mega Man Legends, or I think Tronbon. I think I have that on the Vita as well. They bring those, I'll let you know. I'll let you know if they all of a sudden pop up in my library, ready to go. Okay, let's move to this. I wanted to start with the what I thought was a really funny thing that happened this week, which was that Nintendo charging station for the Joy-Cons. And the reason it was funny is because it's a very basic accessory when you look at it. It's coming out in October 17th. And really, it's just that charging grip without the grip. And then they just gave you a stand. And that's kind of it. It's still like your Joy-Cons plug into it. It plugs into USB-C and then goes to USB-A it could be on your Switch dock, or I guess it could plug into a power brick fine there. But you could use your NES classic controllers. But what happened, OJ, as soon as this comes out, you can read through all the comments. Is this for the Switch 2?
Switch 2. Yeah, I knew it. I knew that was gonna be the case. Videos popping up everywhere.
It was wild. I mean, I get people are trying to connect the dots, and Nintendo is just putting an accessory out there for the current Joy-Cons. It was just funny because as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's weird. I thought, is that weird enough to have people think Switch 2? Yep, it is. It is.
I think anything Nintendo does with announcements, people will try to get somehow. If there's any way to get Switch 2 in there, they will. If there's any possible way.
Yeah, that does seem to be a common thing.
Pokemon Legends ZA, it's for the Nintendo Switch. What? The Switch 2 right off the top. It's like, wait a minute. They're like, is it coming to Switch 2? It's going to be a Switch 2 game only. I'm like, dude, it literally said, but they already in their brain, were like, Switch 2, right, for the game. So people will try to find any way,
Yes, they have because they were looking at this saying that it was, I think most of the reasoning I saw was they are introducing this because the current Joy-Cons would be compatible with the Switch 2. This would allow you to then charge a Joy-Con because the Joy-Cons wouldn't go on the next system technically, because we're thinking that's going to use some sort of magnetic latch maybe for it to connect. Rail system is going to be completely different as well. But the thing that's weird about that is we already have a charge grip. I guess technically the NES classic controllers wouldn't charge on it. I'm sure that's a fair point. We already have it. That charging grip came out when the system came out, like same day. It was there. It was one of the accessories you could buy. So it's just a strange time for Nintendo to introduce this in general, and I just caught so many people off guard with it. I saw some mention that this is the Switch 2 will be announced before this thing comes out. Like before this comes out, the Switch 2 will be announced. And it might be like October 17th. It's very possible a trailer comes out.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. And I'm curious with this thing, because technically you could mimic this now by taking the current charge grip and then taking the grip off the back. This doesn't look that comfortable to use just holding.
I don't think it's meant to be used while holding, is it?
I mean, I guess you could technically you could, because it comes off and they show it there plugged in. Technically, I guess you could use it that way. It just does not look like it doesn't have to be on that stand all the time, right? They showed it laying like flat on the table, almost like a plug and play. But I feel like the charge grip would be significantly better in terms of ergonomics.
Yeah, I don't know if that's even intended, because I think they would have shown somebody actually holding it and playing if that was the case, right? They were just showing it just lying down, just away. Just like, hey, chart. So I don't know. I wouldn't buy it to use it as you're playing. Like that'd be awkward. It'd be weird. Also, it would be depending on like how your cable is too, like how long your cable is and all that. So
did they drop a price for this at all? I didn't even see that. I just saw the system. I saw the accessory October 17th, just confirmed it there, because it was originally like, oh, it's coming out in Japan. Now it's coming out in America. I think they announced it the next day. I didn't see anything about a price point. I assume it'll be like $20 or $25 or something.
Yeah.
But it looks pretty basic. But that's what we assume that the Joy-Cons would have to work with the next system if they're going to have full backwards compatibility, or 99%, 98%, whatever backwards compatibility, barring like ring fitted. Well, I guess ring fit will work, but like Labo, where the new system probably is going to slot in because the OLED doesn't even slot in. So we were assuming the Joy-Cons would have worked anyway. This is just a way for, I guess, you to charge it. So, which also could, we assume now that yes, there will be new Joy-Cons, so that should hopefully make a lot of people happy.
Yeah,
but looking, and it's funny because we are towards the end of July now, and time just moves so fast. We're about to be into August, and that means we're coming up on the halfway point for their fiscal year. They're supposed to unveil the new system this fiscal year, so we're already counting down to where there's like 7 months left. They have to do something.
Yep, and some type of announcement, right? So. I'm guessing, trailer drop, or like, hey, the system, we're going to talk more about the system at this point, maybe even that, like at this date, we're going to talk more about it, or at this point. So,
yeah, I feel like the trailer drop, like they did with the Switch, trailer drop, and then you do some sort of big event, and then you announce the launch price and the launch time, and then you just roll in a few months later for it.
That's successful, man. That's that. I think that's what they're going to do, but that's what I would do. I would just repeat that. Just, trailer drop at the end. The name, you don't even at that point, it was so funny for those who don't remember. It was interesting because they did not confirm any games. Even though we saw games, they would not actually confirm any names of the games. So if you ask me, so it was so funny. The videos that popped up, people were saying Nintendo's lying. I swear to you guys, with these people were saying, like big content creators were saying Nintendo's lying about having Skyrim or having NBA 2K or having certain games because they wouldn't confirm. Like none of the companies would also confirm the games. So maybe something like that. So maybe something weird where people are like, well, why aren't they, like, we see like a new Mario or we see like a new something, but they won't confirm what it is or the name or anything like that.
The Switch 2 stuff kind of went away for a little bit because Nintendo just said, hey, sometime this fiscal year it's going to happen. It's still there, though. If like something shows up that looks a little off or a little strange, man, people are ready to get the Switch 2 talk out immediately. So it's It's right there. The people, everyone's just kind of waiting. Like, all right, Nintendo,
It's like people got videos like preloaded, like
Yeah.
like Nintendo, like just say very basic talking points and then slot in some other stuff when they actually.
It doesn't even have to be that. It could be like anything that looks like it could. Like when we had GTA 6 get unveiled for the first time, it was immediately like switch to GTA 6 stuff. Like it really doesn't matter. It's like anything people can link it to, and that's just everyone's waiting for the floodgates to quote unquote open, and then all the Switch 2 stuff will go crazy. Because at that point, once they get the trailer out there and stuff, I mean, it's gonna be.
Oh yeah, but that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Once they get the trailer out there and there's actually like official content to go over, or even if there was like Eurogamer reports, right? If we get something from Eurogamer, we get something from like they're pretty. So that'll open up like the floodgates, like it's done before. So I mean, I'd even take something like that, but like whenever they do, they do. It's like whatever.
Yeah, ready to see this system. Yeah. It's been a while. I think everyone's just kind of ready, and that's why you get these immediate thoughts of Switch 2 and something weird. Which that is a weird thing for Nintendo to announce 7 years into the system's life.
Longest
There's a
ever.
new charge accessory. Yeah.
Full of surprises, huh?
The Nintendo World Championship, it came out Friday. For some reason, I think
Thursday.
Best Buy or came out. Came out Thursday. I got mine on Wednesday for some reason. It just showed up in the mail.
They were
like
ready.
The collector's edition.
They were ready.
I don't know what happened there. I have to look who it was. I feel like it might have been GameStop. I think it was. But yeah, I mean, I got it early, randomly. It just showed up. I was like, oh, cool. Okay. So day early, which the collector's edition is very good. Like it's high quality stuff. I did an unboxing for it. There it is there. And it is a nice collection for $60. I was a little surprised when I went through it. Like the pins are high quality. They have like a bunch of art cards in there. That little NES cartridge isn't like, hey, we have a piece of plastic that we're going to spray paint. It feels like it's kind of like molded on and stuff. Like it's a legit collector's edition. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it's a nice cartridge, full size. It's like an old school, like back in the day, like that on Nintendo. It's cool.
It has a stand. It has like an acrylic stand and stuff on it too.
I haven't unboxed it yet, but I have it all like here. So yeah, it's a cool package. $60. Hashtag free game. Nintendo sent me this, but I bought one too, so I have two of them. So,
well, it was I did pick it up and I felt it was actually a pretty solid collection there. So
yeah.
I did pop the game in and start playing it just to check it out, see what we're dealing with. Although you have an idea, obviously, when you see a game like that anyway. So going into it, I figured I would be just doing some of the single player stuff and just trying to do all the challenges. And it is exactly what you expect going into it, where you have like a whole row of like a whole menu of games. I don't know if you got a chance to play it yet. OJ.
Oh yeah, streamed it. Streamed it last night. Yeah, I streamed it last night, Friday night.
Yeah, so I went in and they have all the games. You have like level 1 basically you start at, and then when you complete them, you get coins and you can buy the next one and the next one, and the next one, and they get progressively harder as you go. And I mean, you can kind of pick which game you want to really pursue first, even, and just you can beeline straight through it. But I was like playing around with, I did, of course, the Mario, did Kirby, Excite Bike a bit, which Excite Bike, there's only like 4 or 5 challenges. I was a little disappointed. That was one I thought could be a lot of fun. I think it might be able to shake up, but Super Mario Brothers 3 has like 1 million challenges.
Oh, that's good. That's the best game. It's the best game on NES. Yeah.
That thing.
I haven't got to that yet. Yeah, I haven't got to it yet.
It, like, if you just scroll to the right, it just keeps going past all of them, like all the boxes. It just keeps going. Which Mario 3 was like, when you watch the movie or whatever, the Wizard, that was like one of the original games. They're like, this is it. They unveiled it, and it was a big thing. So I get that. It is like the NWC game, technically.
Yeah.
But you go through it. Honestly, some of them take a couple. Like there were a few, because I was trying to get like S in a bunch of them, and when you do that, there were a few times where I finished the stage in like 2.5 seconds or something to get to that point. It's like collect all the coins, and it really takes 4 seconds for an A+ or something. So it's quick. And when you beat it, on the right side, it does a replay of your game. So like how you just played through it, they'll give you a replay next to you, and you try to basically race against yourself. So that is actually a lot of fun to at least do that and keep challenging yourself over and over again until you eventually get either A++ or S. Some of the S ones are they're pretty difficult. You need some very timely jumps in there from Mario, which is where I got most of my S's, I think, so far.
You can do some like obviously like speedrunner strategies, but then you can kind of like also sometimes in some levels you can kind of do your own strategies. Like you can try out different things, and like John says, you have your best time. So whatever it is, like your best time will be on the right, and then you can just try to erase yourself and say, okay, well, you did this in this time. Let me try something a little bit different. I've only done the top row. I played the Mario challenge. I haven't done all of them, but I played through half of them because I was trying to get S on everything. So I got S on most of them. I think there was like 1 or 2 on that first top row that I didn't get S on. But like, yeah, some of the S challenges are actually really difficult to where I was doing stuff that I never would have thought. I'm not a speedrunner, not even close to it, but doing like weird, like reverse Mario jumps, right? Like where you like, you kind of do like a little twirl and he turns backwards and he like somehow goes faster. I don't know. So I was doing weird little things like that, you know, and some of the chat was suggesting stuff. So it's kind of cool. If you're not into speedrunning, but you always think like speedrunning's cool, this is like a cool way to actually like learn a few things about speedrunning or about some of the cool tactics that like, you know, a top player or like a good speedrunner would do, because you're going to instantly look and try to find ways. Like you're going to look at your replay and be like, okay, I wasted a little bit of time there. I wasted a little bit of time there. So you can actually see it and it teaches you. Unlike if you're speedrunning normally, like you don't have that ability to do that. At least some people do, most people don't. So I think it's pretty cool because it makes it fun. It makes it more fun, at least to me, because I don't speedrun. But here I'll go through and try to do like the best times and all that because it's fast. Like I can instantly reset and all that, you know?
They show you examples too before you attempt it. Like they'll have somebody, I guess, who's gone through and done a pretty good job with it, obviously. But there was one with Kirby, and I didn't even realize this, where you're fighting there's the boss that throws the bombs over and over again, and you're supposed to eat the bombs and throw them back at him. When you're first running up to it, if you eat 2 of the initial enemies that fly away and you fire it at them, it counts as 2 hits. So you immediately knock down their health completely, and then you hit them with 1 bomb and it's over. So I didn't even realize that was a thing. And it actually made us beat the boss in like less than 10 seconds or something, which is pretty cool to kind of learn. So it kind of breaks it up in like these small sections. And you're right, kind of teaches you a bit about some of the speed running stuff. So it honestly, if you get this game, it would probably make you better technically at a lot of the older 8-bit platforming games, just because of all the methods they show you. It's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. And you know, there was one thing, I never did this in the original Mario Bros. And I played it a million times. I didn't know you can like hit yourself off blocks to get speed. Like I didn't know that, but you can do it, you know? And like that's how like in like one of the first Mario challenges, like that's the only way to get like the S ranking and like that. It's simple. You just drop down and collect coins on the bottom row and the top row. But really the only way to get an S is if you just slingshot off the block. I didn't know it. I thought I have to like just dash. I've never done that before. But then you learn little things like that, right? Like, oh, okay, well, this is the only way that I can actually do faster if I just try this. Somebody in the chat told me this. Like, well, just try that, you know, and it works. So that's cool too. Like, so yeah, it's a lot of fun. It is what it is though. Like, it's not. I wish there was some other things that it went like a little bit above in terms of like with multiplayer or like with playing with friends and stuff like that. But it's got some cool stuff with like the championship modes. Like it's like a survival mode. I played this when I went to San Francisco. It's active now, but when I went to San Francisco, I played it with people in the room there, and it's pretty cool because like you can actually like it's like playing against people online, like the survival mode, because their best times are uploaded, and then you guys all go at the same time, and it'll go from and you guys will go through like a circuit of different games. So and then the point tallies and all that, and you'll see how you did, and there's like a whatever board or whatever the case is. So it's pretty cool. There's some cool little features. Just missing a few things here and there, like with like friend leaderboards and things like that, online like direct multiplayer. So missing a few things, but overall, I thought it's fun. Like especially if you grew up in that era. I mean, I grew up in the old school NES era, so it's cool to play all the games again.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to try the party mode, the offline mode that you're discussing, where it's like
freaking awesome.
You can do 8 people or something.
Oh yeah, it's good.
I haven't tried that.
Oh, it's good. That would be the preferable. Like if you've got people like if you've got your friends like that know and they want to play this, I would absolutely say pick it up and play with your friends because it's a blast. Because I played it local with I think 4 other people. Was it 4 or 5 other people in the room, or was it more than that? I don't remember. I was there with like there was like a dude from Nintendo Life. There was a couple of people. And yeah, it was super fun. Like we had a blast. We were like counting up our point totals and like we had like a little tournament. And I had so much fun playing locals. So if you got people to play with locally, absolutely, it's super fun.
Yeah, the the online real-time online multiplayer aspect might be a little more difficult. I think the missed opportunity are leaderboards. So if they can get those incorporated in like through an update, I think they would have something here that would it honestly would keep itself going with online play, just from competitive nature of wanting to have that sub 2-second time for getting the mushroom as Mario, or something like that on the leaderboard. So I think that is probably an aspect that I would hope that they would look at and be like, okay, yeah, let's get an update in for this, because that would be really cool to have just global leaderboards, or even technically regional leaderboards, and then you can have like top global ranks too. That'd be really cool to kind of divide it all up.
They should have all of them. They should have the friend. They should have the regional. They should have or by country or whatever. They should have every single, for this type of thing, you should have every single type of, because it's so basic in its like sense, right? Like it's just you're playing any. So they should have every single type of leaderboard, in my opinion. So yeah, that's where I think that's a misfire. But hopefully there's an update. I know like F-Zero's been getting a bunch of updates, to make things better. So maybe they update this one too.
I just realized, sorry, we were talking about that SNK versus Capcom game earlier.
Yeah, it's not coming to Xbox. Is that the thing?
It's not coming to. Oh,
yeah. Is that what you signed about?
I saw it just now pop up on X or X, whatever. PS4, Switch, Steam, GOG, and that game was originally only on Xbox, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? I didn't know that.
I believe it was. I know it was on Xbox. I feel like it wasn't on anything else back then.
What? No way.
Someone in the chat can correct me. Was it on PS2?
That seems weird. They would have an Xbox. They wouldn't have.
I think it was on PS2 and Xbox.
Okay.
Was it on PS? Let me make sure. I don't want to accidentally say it was also on, or like a regional thing. No, PS2,
PlayStation
Xbox,
2, Neo Geo, Xbox, and just general arcade.
So yeah, it was on original Xbox back in the day, and now it's not on the Xbox. Well, yeah, that's rough. I don't know. That's kind of tough. We've been there with the Marvel vs. Capcom thing. Now we're seeing it with this.
This one's not as bad as Marvel vs. Capcom. Marvel vs. Capcom is considerably worse than this. It's not good, but it's not as bad.
In North America, it was only on Xbox. PS2 was just in Japan. For that,
in that instance, the other one wasn't being published from Capcom to Xbox. This is SNK not publishing it, so it's like both the companies just turning their back on the communities, which is weird.
That's pretty rough, actually.
That's rough.
Jeez, man, you catch a break with that Xbox from Capcom. Apparently, Marvel vs. Capcom, and now this, man. Well,
we're probably going to get the release date for Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection tomorrow. Like at one of the
that'll make sense. That'll make sense.
Yeah, we're probably gonna get that tomorrow. So
people getting a chance to play Sparking Zero now in droves too. All right,
yeah.
Nice. Ready for that. Good stuff. Yeah. So NWC though out now. It's fun. It's $30, so it's not a full price game or anything. I mean, the collector is $60, but you can just get it digitally or I guess physically. I guess for $30.
I don't know if you can get it. I think this is the only version of it. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, digitally it's $30, so you can grab it there if you're not really feeling the full collectors at $60. But it's good time. It's fun.
It's kind of a good digital game though. Like something you just like pop it and play like every now and then. Like, you're not gonna want to like carry on a cartridge. You just have it on there whenever you want. Like, pick up and play. So yeah. Just
kind of jump in and out. Yeah. I could see that. Yeah. So okay. Kind of funny to 8-player. NWC. Yeah, okay, cool. So there you go. There's footage of it being played out there. Really cool. And I also got a chance to, you know what, Evan, I do want to ask you about this just to see if you played it. I'm not sure. I also don't know if the update is out yet. I saw the No Man's Sky update that got pushed or people were talking about. Did you see that?
I saw the update, looked interesting, but at the same time, every time I get back into the game, I get about 2 hours in and then I go, oh yeah, I didn't like this. And then I delete it again.
I wanted to see if that's the funny part about that game. It's with all the updates they've done, it's still a fairly small game. Like in terms of file size, it's like 16 gigabytes or something.
No, yeah, it's brilliant technology. It's just like I see the trailer and I see what they show, and it's like, oh, this could be really cool but then I get back into it and I'm like, oh, I got to do this.
Is it because it takes too long to get everything going?
Getting ramped up to the point where you can like seriously do stuff just doesn't feel good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Shout out to Gene.
Hey, what's up, Gene? That's kind of how I feel with real quick. That's kind of how I feel like with games like Power World and games like that. It just takes too, like, you're just grinding and resources, and you're just over and over and over, and it just, I'm like, I don't want to do all this. I'm good, you know.
Yeah, No Man's Sky, I think it's Worlds. It's the new update. I think it's like 5.0, but it looks like they did a lot, specifically to the engine and the technology, as you were mentioning, Evan. But they have at the point where like each planet has its own wind pattern and
atmospherics that change, weather patterning that changes, the new water effects and stuff. Yeah,
they were like rolling around like ships and then like mechs and stuff. It looked insane. So I just thought I'd check to see if you were reinstalling it again for the 8th time.
No.
I did. It is on Game Pass, and I downloaded it, and I was like, I'll take a look. I'm curious because I haven't played the game. Maybe since it came out, like that first year that it was out when I was playing. Everyone was mad at it.
2 hours, about 2 hours.
It's like maybe I'll check it out. That's a video doing No Man's Sky in 2024 and seeing how much different it is. I'd be curious how the opening is too, because the opening back then was just so. Like it didn't really give you any kind of direction or anything. It's
it's still kind of the same. It's just here's the initial quest. Hey, you have a ship now. Go, and you're like, all right, cool.
Well, maybe it's like I said, it's on Game Pass, so it is kind of that sense of download it, see and it's 16 gigabytes, so it doesn't take long to download. But I don't know, maybe I'll take a look at it. We'll see. I guess also, well, let me ask you, Evan, are you interested in their next game that they're doing because of all the stuff they've done with No Man's Sky? Like you assume a lot of that stuff's going to find its way into just the initial launch of what is it, like Light No Fire?
I mean, you assume that, but the problem always with a company's second game after running a game for how long has No Man's Sky been getting updates? Like your first game is going to be nowhere close. Yeah, it's going to be nowhere close to what No Man's Sky is now. So it's pretty much going to be getting back into square one, which is probably a good idea if you want to get in, because then you can get through the ramp up stage of whatever you have to gather and collect and build and do, so that as new stuff comes out, you don't have to do all that before, which always gets annoying. So I'll look at it, but I don't know. Their game format never really super appealed to me.
I did have a chance to play a little bit of Flintlock just to see what was going on there, because the game came out and it did get kind of crushed by reviews a bit. It's just been getting kind of beaten down because from like a technical level, it didn't seem like it was in great shape, and it is trying to be, I guess, an approachable Souls game. They call it a Souls Light, so there's no stamina bar for it. You don't really have like weight requirements that changed how fast you can dodge or nothing like that, your speed. And it is just a much more, I'd say, watered down Souls game. And I played some of it, and it's I walked away from Elden Ring to play it, and it does not feel as good as Elden Ring, is what I'll tell you. That seems obvious. But on the other hand, they do have some stuff they're trying. Like you have sort of a spirit dog fox thing that will hit enemies and basically fill up a stagger bar for them that can knock off all their armor or just put them in a state where you can do a ton of damage. Then you also have you have a pistol. You also have a large rifle. And when you use the rifle, you get the rifle, you have to do an initial reload animation. And what happens is when you press A, it does the Gears of War reload where you have to then stop it at a certain point. So you get a bonus damage for it.
Live action reload. Yeah.
It came up, I was like, oh, all right. In here. Okay. And I found a boss that I think it might have been optional. I got there a little too early because they would almost one hit me every time. I managed to get past them so far. That's kind of where I ended it. But they have like double jumps. They have air dashes. So it's a more agile Elden Ring, but it just doesn't have the same kind of, it doesn't have the same kind of appeal when it comes to the combat. You have counters where you can pretty much parry most things, but they also have that red light that they'll have, like let's play Sekiro, same thing there, where they'll be unblockable, so you have to dodge it. And it all kind of works together with your weapon that you pick up that is there's just not a lot to it. It does more damage, sure, but I'm not seeing any secondary abilities on anything so far. And I have no interest in the main character at all that they're trying to build out with this thing. So I mostly just wanted to download it, see exactly what was going on. I haven't run into anything that was too pressing when it comes to like from the technology side where the game's crashing or I'm falling through the floor. But people did mention that was something they ran into later on. They do have sort of this risk reward system where as you say beat a bunch of enemies without getting hit, you'll have a multiplier on the left side of the screen that builds up. And when you get hit, it'll just stop building and just give you whatever the currency, the souls or whatever. It'll just add it into your supply. But as long as you go through and you don't get hit, you can actually keep racking up more and more with that multiplier. And that then works into building up the skill tree, which is how you level. So there's no like actual levels that you get where Elden Ring, you might go up to like 170 or 180 for your level. None of that happens. You just build up a skill tree and that then increases your damage and other abilities. So it's a very, like I said, it's a very, I guess withdrawn Souls game. It's not like how Lies of P still leaned into a lot of the stat stuff and the difficulty. It doesn't feel as difficult as those games, and it feels like it's just less in terms of having to manage or figure things out. So it's I don't know if it's a game I'm going to get all the way through because I already kind of am like, I'd rather be playing Elden Ring right now. So might just end up back at that. But it is on Game Pass. There you go. You can try it out if you're a Game Pass subscriber. See what you think. Let me let's go over to college football because I feel like OJ, this was a big release for you too, just in general. With it's a series that's been gone for a while since 2014, NCAA 2014. Because I remember it on the 360 and people loved that game, and it was always like $40 to $45, even years later, because everyone wanted it. Came in used, went out immediately. People would be on like a list looking for this thing. Was not backwards compatible, so you needed the 360 to play it. And finally, like 11 years later, we have a new version of this game, which it recorded over 2 million players in early access, which costs $100 to get into. So
they made a ton of money right off the top.
People are spending money
to
get this game as soon as possible, which I assume is a lot of it's for competitive reasoning where it's like, hey, I want to get this game.
Yeah.
So that I can beat my friends, basically.
It's the hunger for a good football game. I've always been more of a Madden and NFL 2K person over college football. I did play a few of the college football games. 2003 played that one. 07 played that one. Played, I think, the one with Tim Tebow on the cover. So I've played a few of them, but I was always more Madden. But the gameplay in this one is good. And I think that the defining thing here that we saw from people buying it early, but the game actually being good. There's this guy on YouTube. His name is Soft Drink TV. He just does sports games and does Madden. Like literally, like the last decade, this dude's been making videos slandering every single Madden and football release that they have. So people were waiting for his review. I mean, I think he got like 20K views in like 1 hour, right? So it was rolling, and he was like, "This game's good," and he hates EA. Like he literally started the video saying, "I won't forgive EA for anything." So he hates EA, and he gave his seal of approval on the game. And this guy studies all the football games, plays all of them, all that. So that's how I know that, okay, this is actually worth spending some money on. Because like I said, this guy's been just breaking down. It's not just I hate EA, it's like actually breaking down why the games are lazy, why they're not good, blah, blah, blah. He'll do it bit by bit. And he's like retrospectives on Madden and all that, and other games and college football games. And he says that it's not necessarily like the best over, like there's still some things in like NFL 2K5 or like NFL like the 2K8 game that's better than this game, but he says it's the most fun that he's had, like playing the game, like just overall it's just super fun. I did also watch Marlon. He's a content creator on here, Marlon Gaming Nation. He played online and it was literally like offline. There was zero, like it was like they were playing offline. Nobody complained about any type of lag or it was perfect off, like online. Not a single hitch. I thought he was playing offline at first.
Oh, wow. Okay. The reviews that have come in, I mean, it's sitting at an 88 right now on the PS5 on Metacritic. So reviews are good. That's the highest I feel like I've seen for a football game in forever.
Almost, I can't even remember. It must have been the PS2, the PS3 Maddens. It must have been like the PS3, like the early PS3 Maddens, maybe. That got somewhere near there. I think things started going downhill on Xbox One and PS4. Like
Madden 06 was a 74. I remember that. I'm seeing it now. I'm looking at it now. Okay, Madden 07 was an 80. 08. Okay. 08 was an 85.
Okay. Yeah. So
but it was right around that time, I remember, where then it started, you're right, to kind of fall down a bit. And we got to a position where people were like, okay, they're just phoning this in because there's no competition at all for them anymore. Because I think it was Madden. They even called it Madden 25. They're just like, yeah, we don't need Madden 14. Don't need that. Yeah, so this has been the best rated football game in quite some time, and this is only current gen. So you need an Xbox Series or you need a PS5 to play this thing, which has actually caused reportedly Xbox Series S system specifically to spike in sales, which I assume because it's cheaper, obviously for the college kids, they're going to look at that and be like, okay, that's the entry point right there. Because at one point you can find a Series S at like $250, like new.
Yeah, just pick up a cheap Series S. It plays great on there. You know, they optimized it. It plays good on there. Pick up a cheap Series S and just get the game and enjoy. And you're just going to get hours and hours and hours of good gameplay. And they got a lot of features in there too. It's not just bare bones. And that's been the biggest issue with a lot of these games, is that it's been bare bones. They've been removing features. Still doesn't have everything that previous Maddens have and all that, but it's definitely better. So a lot of the kids have been playing it. When it comes, a lot of the college kids are playing it and enjoying it, which is cool.
ET Video says Snoop Dogg showed the series. It's supposed to be Series S, as they corrected it. The Series S. So Snoop Dogg is playing with the Series S too. Yeah, that's all it takes. You just need that tweet. That's it. Those are the days. Getting all the celebrities back then that were like just showing up to the GameCube reveal and the PS2 reveal.
Yeah, that's good though. I'm happy, and like I said, I'll actually potentially spend some money on this later in the year. So maybe
later in the year, waiting for the 50% off sale Black Friday.
Yeah. Because like I'm not big on college football just in general. I'm not big on. I don't think I'll ever forgive them for what they did to athletes. So. But I guess it's better now. But like I said, I played through a time. I was in that era where guys were getting in trouble for accepting food just to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like they accept a voucher to go eat. All of a sudden they get a note talking about you're suspended for the week. So like screw the NCAA. I almost like don't want to give them anything, to be honest. But the players are getting paid. Everything's fine now. But I've seen too much. Like I said, I've seen too much stuff. So I always hesitate with the NCAA, even with the games and all that back then. But yeah, no, it's cool, man. Like I said, I might check it out.
I really do hope that this is like a turning point a bit for Madden. Maybe them reflect a bit, because this is a different team within EA who's working on it. They're sharing technology, obviously, with the Madden team, but now we're to the point, because back then you would get NCAA come out and it would rate higher than Madden at some years. Mm-hmm. Maybe this is the moment where they're like, oh, we should probably figure this out, because come on, you got some pride involved with it, right? Like what was Madden? What was Madden rated at? What was the review this year for Madden? Last year, I guess. Technically,
it was a little bit better, but it was still garbage. It was still like
65. 65 on the PS5.
It
got a 1.6 user review.
Yeah, which is still worse than like Madden NFL, like 16 and 19 and 20 are all better. 18, 15, 17, those ones review better. But like
the thing about this game, Madden this year, if it's 25, they already did Madden 25.
Well, they'll figure out something. Madden 26.
Yeah.
Wait, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah, Madden already did Madden 25.
Madden.
Well, they got Christian McCaffrey on the front, right? What's the title for it? Is it just Madden 25?
I think it's Madden 2025.
They figured out the loophole.
But this game actually had multiple years of development. Like, surprise, like you give them multiple years of development, they actually make a good game. Madden should do that. These games should not be yearly. These games should be like every other year. If it was like every other year, and then this roster update, just $30 roster update, or DLC or whatever you want to add, and whatever like if you can add that, it should just be that, so it doesn't become stale. Like I think that's the problem.
It's the hit stick. Those are the days right there.
Do they still have hits?
I'm saying back then. I remember it was 2005. I remember that was big. They had that, and they had the truck stick come in too.
Yeah, because it was 2004. They had the offensive playmaker. Remember with Michael Vick? He was unstoppable.
Yeah.
2004, and then to balance it out in 2005, they had the defensive playmaker, which really turned the tides, where it was way more balanced overall. I love Madden 05. It's one of my favorite games. So
yeah, that hit stick was crazy though. You hit him with that and then fumble half the time.
Ray Lewis plus hit stick is like fumble if you're not holding down the
time.
cover up button, it's like fumble almost every time.
Yeah, those are great. Those are the days. Yeah, I hope they come up with something for Madden going forward. Otherwise, college football is just going to run over them every year. It'll be ugly.
Yeah.
So,
Agreed.
But hey, happy for all the college football fans out there who've been begging for it to come back. It's finally back, and it's actually good.
Yeah.
So that's great to see. It wasn't just them phoning it in and just being junk and taking your money. So
they could have.
They could have, because it still would have sold. Like it would have.
It would have sold,
but they actually turned up with a good product. So hey, that's awesome. That's awesome to see. So
yeah, I think each NCAA player, I think, got $600 per player. So except for the cover app. I think cover athletes got a bit more.
Yeah.
But
also if you
$105.
if you have EA Play or Game Pass Ultimate has EA Play, you can actually play for 10 hours to start, just to try it out. So if you technically have it now and you're hearing this, you can download it and see what you think. There you go.
Hey, listen, guys, that $500 back in the day, if you got that might be the end of your career. That could be the end of your career if you got $500 back in the day from somebody. Okay, I've seen it. So
man, that's
you're
crazy.
shipped off to you're going to San Jose State after that, bro.
And the amount of money that NCAA was making, and like just people are getting in trouble for $500. That's crazy.
You're getting in trouble for $100, dude. People get in trouble for damn near anything. You get in trouble. They did a good job of hiding it, though. A lot of guys were able to get paid, but a lot of times, they found out. So,
man, that was crazy days then. Well, at least they got it worked out here, and like I said, a good game came out of it. So
they got it worked out though, so that's good.
It's good to see there. I do want to also get to Emio here in a second. Let me double check some of the.
It's my paper bag.
Yeah.
Paper bag over my hair.
Yeah, I wanted to. Sean was getting kind of roasted a bit. I wanted to get him in here.
Are you looking for the Spawncast clip where you were talking about how it'd be horrible if it was?
I'll say for me, we'll get into that too with what my thoughts were on it. And yeah, but
it was a good morning for me when I saw that.
RG says pre-ordered my limited special edition Tomba for the Switch, a physical copy of Tomba for the Switch, Tomba controller, shirts, plushie, and pre-ordering the PS5, PC, and digital and Switch digital. Much love to MVG for making this happen. Big Tomba fan, I take it. He says some folks have Tomba much money on their hands. Yeah, yes, they do. Shout out to RG. Dope It's Drew says, been so addicted to College Football 25, might grab a PlayStation Portal so I can play with the missus while she watches Love Island as the latency improved.
It depends on your network, man. For me, it just doesn't work that great, but for others, it works perfect. So
yeah, if you have a good setup, you probably get away with it even with a football game. I was playing Stellar Blade on it, was able to pull it off fine, but you got to make sure you have a good clear setup for your Wi-Fi, 5 gigahertz, the whole thing. Just make sure you have a good connection. I mean, and I would also wire your PS5 in. I would not try to do Wi-Fi on your PS5 and then also wireless on your portal. There's just a lot of latency being introduced there. So that's my recommendation though. Wire up the PS5, double check your network, and your portal should give you a decent enough experience. Yeah. So Cat is back, new member there. Shout out to Cat is back. And we have Andy Ackerman. What's up? How you doing, Andy? And then it says, "Oh, thumbs up if you want Rax. Thumbs if you want to get Rax off his." Hey, Rax, I sent him a link. If he wants to jump in, he can. If not, it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. I sent him the link. Okay, Emio. So we had who was Emio, and then we did get our reveal for it. It is a new Famicom Detective Club game. Which
that reveal couldn't have been better. Oh, so good.
Best.
Well,
so did you watch the last episode where we talked about it? Someone actually timestamped it. It was perfect. Because John, you go, this would suck if it was a visual novel game, and then it goes to OJ, who goes, the only visual novel game I like is Famicom Detective Club. It was beautiful. It was so good. You 100% said it was great.
Well, Emio, the Smiling Man, Famicom Detective Club. It is happening. It's coming out August 29th, so it's a little over 5 weeks away. Yeah, it's out soon. I mean, it's the August game. It is. So It's again, it's not. I was hoping for something a bit different. Personally, I'm not a big visual novel adventure kind of person with that, but I will say there were Famicom Detective Club fans out there who were shocked and excited. Well, okay, some guessed it, but there were many who were very, very happy that this is happening because this is the first time we've had, according to a press release, that we've had a new entry in the series in more than 3 decades now. So this is indeed a you could say a dormant franchise, or one that's an older franchise from Nintendo they haven't done much with, other than they did remakes and stuff, but like new entries. Here we go. They are doing a new one. The marketing, it was interesting. It's partially why I think it got the reaction that it did online. Like if there was just this announcement, okay. But that, I think that week-long speculation is what got people kind of annoyed on social media.
Absolutely. And I said this and people got a little upset at me. I was like, well, the marketing was good because Famicom Detective Club came out and they just put it in the direct and nobody made anything. But now nobody made any videos. Nobody talked about it, really. It was just a cliff note. But everybody, no matter if you liked it or you didn't, everybody was talking about it. Everybody's made multiple videos on it. Made multiple videos. Some people made multiple videos complaining, and that's fine. Because for every, I don't know, maybe like 100 or 200 or 300 or 400 or 1,000 people that hate it, there'll be a few that say, okay, well, wait a minute. That looks kind of cool. Maybe I'll check it out, which I've already seen. So Famicom Detective Club, nobody said, oh, I'll check this out. They're just like, oh, it's just a thing. You're right. It just came by and it went, right? And that was that. Now, there was no physical of that, and it was a little bit weird. Obviously, we've never gotten it, but now that we've gotten it, it's got a little bit more of a profile. But I said that, the marketing was actually good because it's a VN. So if you like a VN, you're not gonna buy it anyway. It's like whatever. But it actually drummed up some interest to where people are making videos on it. Multiple videos. Nobody made videos on Famicom Detective Club, the first 2 games that came out. Nobody made videos on those. But now we got a slew. Even if you hated it, like I said, got big channels making videos, people talking about Famicom Detective Club. So yeah, the marketing was a little bit for some people. But at the end of the day, I just think it worked. Not saying that I like it. Like I like Famicom Detective Club. Like, oh my gosh, it's like my favorite thing. But it was actually good marketing because regardless, people are talking about it. And nobody talks about this franchise at all. So
yeah, I mean, the idea of marketing is get people to talk about your product. They got people to talk about the product. I'll give them that. But you're right, Evan. When I said it, I said, hey, it was a visual novel. I'll be disappointed. And the reason I say that is because I don't really play visual novels, so obviously. But also, I was looking at that thinking, man, maybe this is Nintendo doing something weird enough to where it's like new IP. Maybe that'd be kind of cool.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was like a smaller. What's that game, Evan? Maybe you know. Is it Crow Country? Or something like that. There's a game that's like Resident Evil. It's a modern game made like a PS1 game. It's called
I've seen that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's called. I thought it would be something like that, some type of old school, retro, weird, smaller AA or A take on like
that's rated highly. Jesus, overwhelmingly positive.
Wow. Okay, yeah. So I thought it was going to be something like that. That's what I thought it was going to be. Something smaller. And people were trying to say Eternal Darkness. People were trying to say all this. I'm like, no. It's probably going to be something smaller, something,
Yeah, it'd be like a Luigi's Mansion with a filter and more blood. It'd be great.
It'd be something smaller, like even like way smaller. So I didn't think it was going to be anything massive because, I mean, it didn't seem that way. It didn't seem like that it's just a small little teaser. You don't know what it's going to be. It's also a good point, though, guys. Like, when you see teasers, they're teasers. Like, they're not gameplay. They're not reveals. So you can't make up your own head, or at least you can make up whatever headcanon you want. But chances are it might not be what you want.
Be prepared to be disappointed.
Yeah, just be prepared because people were making up, man, it was going to be this. It's going to be this based off what they showed. I'm like, bro, it's
the ocean of people online who was like, oh my God, Nintendo's Silent Hill, it's happening.
Yeah, and I'm like, what? And people were saying Eternal Darkness, Silent Hill. I'm like, ooh, I don't know, guys, hold up here,
Yeah, I think that the mature rating obviously threw people through a loop. They're like, "Oh wow, this is mature rated." What was it? I guess on one hand they did let them basically do what they want with this game. Hey, it's mature rated, sure, that's fine. We'll co-develop it, and we'll put it out there. So at least because we've had Famicom Detective Club and that's been teen rated. Now it seems like they're getting pretty serious with it. Where in the same Sakamoto, same person working on it still 30 some odd years later, it shows kind of Nintendo. Basically, it's like a lifer situation for a lot of people that work there their whole career. And in this case, they're going pretty dark with it. It seems like it's going to go after like a urban legend guy going around. He approaches people who are crying, offers them a paper bag for their life, and that's why we're getting some of these crime scenes where they're wearing a paper bag over their head. So at that point, you are going to just investigate the crimes, and I guess eventually figure out who is Emio, who is the smiling man. So that sounds awesome again for visual novel fans, Famicom Detective Club fans. But for me, I'm already moving on. Like, well, there you go. That's the way it goes.
I'll buy it physical just because I think it might be worth something. But yeah, I'm not big on VN, so I'm not. Yeah, I'm good.
They are doing it physically at least, whereas the other ones they haven't done physically. I almost wonder if they would consider releasing that. Oh, it's a little late now. I mean, the game comes out in 5 weeks, as I mentioned, a little more than that. So I don't know if they're going to announce it now and like get it out in time, but they could announce it and release it later on in the year or something if they really wanted to, I guess.
Yeah, the first and second game, they're in Japan physical, like a weird special edition in Japan. That's it. So I mean, it'd be cool if they can release them physical here, like that'd be cool. But if not, like whatever.
Yeah, just to complete the series, then you have all three of them there on the shelf.
All three on one cart. That'd be like the go-to version of it. That's what they should do. Just
all that'd be cool. Get all three on one cart. Yeah.
That'd get people to just buy it just all right, this is weird. Okay. They haven't done that since there was a Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem Fates did that in like a special edition or something where it had all 3 games in one. Shit's like super expensive now.
Well, like I said, people are pretty excited about it. It's not like it's a huge franchise for Nintendo, so that's not the marketing. I have to concede was something that worked. The live action like shots of it where it wasn't animated. I think that threw a lot of people off as well because then they did the reveal and all of a sudden it became animated and it's like, wait a minute.
So, I've been duped.
Yeah, that's
no, I get why you do this.
That's why the reaction hit.
I get why people are upset. It's okay, and I told people like it's okay to be upset. If you're upset about it, it's okay. Be upset. Let it out. Let them know.
It's a learning experience. Stop putting your own thoughts on what the game's going to be.
No, it's okay to be upset. If you're not happy with something, you can say that you're not happy with it. But once again, it's like a reaction to those like, oh, so you're not happy with it, huh? Okay, cool. But you know about the game. But you're talking about it, right? Maybe your friend might be happy with it. Did you let him know how disappointed you are?
There's a very good chance that it's going to be the best-selling game in the franchise. So
I don't even what are this?
I don't think it's going to be very difficult for it to do it.
It's not going to be 10 copies.
Yeah, they shipped the crate. They're good. That's all they needed. That's it.
You got a clean 20K. You're good.
I guess there is something to say though, I guess, about Nintendo even doing this in the first place, just because it hasn't been, like I said, a franchise that's very lucrative for them necessarily. But at least it's something different, them attempting this rather than just going with the basics. This is like, hey, let's see what happens here. Why not? Let's try it. So there's at least that. It's like, I guess, variety, and they let it be mature. So
there he is. Pull him in.
Oh snap! It's Rax.
What's up, boys?
What's up, Rax?
Great.
Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a while, man.
I mean,
Rax here. Well. We just saw him. What's going on, Rex? How you doing?
I didn't see him.
I'm doing good. I hope I'm not creating an echo in here.
I don't think so. No, I don't hear any echo. I think you're good.
Yeah, that Mighty Ducks jersey is cool, man. That show that movie was. There was a show and a movie. They were all the movies were awesome.
The Ducks. Yeah, the cartoon was good.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are talking about my jersey. Sorry, I had to fix something. I was getting 14 audio sources into my headphones real quick.
Yeah, the Mighty Ducks jersey.
Yeah, man. Gotta love Mighty Ducks, man.
Yeah,
it's classic.
We're talking about the movies were really good.
Andy Ackerman says, thanks, Rex.
Yeah, Andy was bullying me in the chat, so I was like, you know what? I feel obligated to that. I gotta hop in here. So shout out to Andy.
Oh, and then Isaac says RGT is truly salty over the reveal. Well, I think he had a lot of hopes and dreams for that, and kind of crushed him, I'll say.
He's actually a horror game fan, so to see that had to be massively.
I don't like RGT, so I was very happy to see that video and see him in pain. I was like, yes, I knew this would be it. He's upset. Good.
I'm gonna be real honest with you. I'm kind of on the same page with RGT because when I saw that reveal on Twitter, because that's the first place that I saw it was Nintendo posted up the tweet, and I saw that creepy trailer that they put up. And I was I think that people have been pretty excited about any kind of like horror announcements, given the PT failure that happened. I think that like people just really want that next really gritty horror game, and I feel like it's kind of lagging right now.
I think people liked the idea of the mystery attached to it. Like if Nintendo ran this for another 2 months, I feel like people would have been really into it. But I will at least say this for Nintendo, they didn't try to do that with this being on the other side. Because if they ran this for 2 months and this was the reveal, it would have been like nuclear online.
I don't think they would have ran it for that. I've never seen Nintendo run teasers for that long. So that's why I was very hesitant when they're like, oh, maybe they'll run this for. I was like, probably not. We'll probably find out about it soon. So we have no game in August. So I was thinking, yeah, maybe something slots right in there on August. So.
Oh, you got their August game. There you go. Let me go over to. I want to bring this up, and I think this is interesting just in general for multiplayer. Okay, because Concord is an open beta right now, and it has not been going well for this game. I don't know if anyone got a chance to play it at all. As far as I could tell, it's like me and I think Nate played it, and that's it.
Did Nate enjoy it? Did you play it with Nate?
No, I didn't play with Nate. He just mentioned, I fired it up and tried
just
it.
In passing? Yeah, I tried it out.
In passing. He's like, yeah, I did too. I tried it out. I was like, oh, what'd you think of it? Like, there's no real impact from this Concord beta at all for anyone that I've talked to. I was like, I played it for a little bit. And I am not at all compelled to go back. Well, right now, so you can just download it for free currently. This is an open beta. PS5, PC. It's there. There's just over 1,100 people right now playing it. And in the last 24 hours, 1,500 people was the max concurrent they've hit, which isn't great for a game that needs a sizable population. Like Overwatch, Valorant, those do really, really well. Like we all know that it's a consistent. I mean, I had to look to see what Valorant is doing right this second, but I know Overwatch has a ton of people online at any given time, it seems. Like 24-hour peak for Overwatch 2 today was 52,000 people, something like that.
Oh wow!
And I feel like people hated that game for a while.
Damn, that's actually really good.
Yeah, that's on Steam, and Valorant. I don't know how they would. I don't think they could track that, can they?
Well, I mean, I thought it was good considering how people hate Overwatch. That's I meant.
Well, you're saying he's saying it's Steam tracks. That's specifically Overwatch from Steam, not even the Blizzard launcher or anything else.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's severely undertracked then.
Yeah, like even like Destiny 2, for example. That's right now there's 73,000 people on Destiny 2, almost 80,000 24-hour peak. So basically, Concord, which should be a game that there should be a lot of excitement around it, just because it's a new multiplayer, hero shooter multiplayer game coming up, and it's just opened up, so you don't have to pay for it. In a month, it's going to be $40 to get in, and I think that's going to be interesting when they try to ask for money for this game. But people think that it might be delayed. People think it might honestly be shut down in less than a year. I'm not really sure what happens with Concord when it launches, but it's not looking good. Like if they get to a point where it's Destruction All-Stars, you think Sony makes a move and makes it free or put it in the PlayStation Plus or does something to try to get people in?
If they learned anything from Lawbreakers, they better do something, because Lawbreakers actually had I feel like Lawbreakers had a good product, but the fact that
you like Lawbreakers.
I loved Lawbreakers.
Oh, you both did. Oh, interesting. Okay.
I bought that game physically. It's still sealed. Wow. It died before I could even open the game.
Wow.
Yeah, really? That one came from limited run. So, I mean, we'll just leave it at that.
It came in yesterday.
It came in yesterday.
It came in after the game was dead.
That's crazy.
Game's dead, but hey, you got a coaster.
That's crazy.
I mean, there are some people that are trying to revive Lawbreakers, and there's a Discord where people are starting their own servers and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's pretty cool, but I don't think that's going to be the case for Concord, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know why people leave Overwatch or Valorant to play Concord. I don't know why they would do that. Yeah. And the thing that's kind of a shame is Concord went into development back in 2018. So it's just been hanging out in the background for 6 years or something. And Sony, I guess, looked at this game and said, yes, we need to buy Firewalk now.
I saw a post of people playing the game. It's not my type, but it looks like it's got good impact. It looks like it's a solid game. Not like the best thing ever, but it looks solid enough. I just wish that it was actually like, I think these games could be saved a little bit. And I hate to be old boomer here, but I got to. They actually just made it an actual normal game like Sony used to make with like Resistance. You guys remember Resistance 1,
Resistance
2, and 3?
was amazing.
And you get a single player. So if the multiplayer goes down, you're still good. At least you've got something. These games all ride and die by online. So to me, I always hesitate. And even when the discounts come in, I hesitate because it's like, well, what if they just shut down the servers? I got nothing left. I bought Mag. There's nothing left. You know,
it didn't really help Titanfall 2 on launch, though, did it?
Titanfall 2?
Yeah.
That's because they launched it in a stupid they sabotaged EA sabotaged that one. They sabotaged it so they can get them for cheaper. We all know what happened with that. Let's keep it a buck. They sabotaged them so it can make them be a cheaper price for them to buy them out. That's what happened. Because we all know that was a bad release date for Titanfall 2. But Titanfall 2 is awesome.
It is interesting, Rax, you bring up Lawbreakers to compare this to, because that is a game that if I would have been trying to make Concord, that I would have looked at immediately as what went wrong with that game. And instead it kind of looks like they just made another Lawbreakers, sort of.
Much slower. That's all.
That's the thing.
Graphics and everything look nice. Like the game itself looks nice, but I feel like the characters lack like a certain like personable connection. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like they don't have enough personality to like drive that game to popularity. And not only that, but like everybody says, like there's so many hero shooters that you could already hop in and play that are already established. Like it's just like where is it going?
Yeah, that's kind of the issue now. Is they said they're gonna run cutscenes. I guess that's their big push for this game. That's gonna set it apart. But every time I hear people talk about it, like I don't really want to watch a cutscene. I turn it on so I can start playing the game.
That's exactly what I want from my hero shooter. Like there could be that's what it's missing. Cutscenes.
There could be a single player, and then you can put the cutscenes in the single player and play a campaign. I mean, I know it's a crazy concept. They could do that. I mean,
I think PvE might be the way to go. I think if they had any chance of saving this thing, they might want to work on a campaign PvE mode for this, just to add some kind of wrinkle to it. It blends in so much that I feel like if I was in Overwatch playing now, I wouldn't leave Overwatch to go play it. It is slow. Evan, you mentioned Lawbreakers was faster. This game, it does depend obviously on who you pick, because some characters are faster than others. It is like if you're a tank, you're so slow, and if you're a medium character, you're really slow too. So, and if you're a fast character, you get killed kind of quick. So it hasn't been. I think there's two characters that I enjoyed playing. One was the pyromancer girl who just throws fire everywhere. Like she was actually pretty cool to use, and the other was looked like Batista from Guardians of the Galaxy. That guy. Otherwise, I don't really care much about the other characters. So
how's X Defiant doing?
Ubisoft said it did better than their expectations. Like it beat their expectations. So they seem happy with it. I played it for a bit just to try it out, and it did feel like a Call of Duty game, which is fine, but it was free to play, so people just downloaded it, tried it out, and stuck around.
And that's my point. Is I feel like X Defiant had like a little bit of a variety comparative to what Overwatch has. So I feel like it was like the Call of Duty players' hero shooter, and like there's some people that I feel stick with that game and they're like are really hardcore about it, and then everyone else just kind of, I don't really hear anybody talk about it.
See, I mean, Destruction All-Stars is still around. It still works. So maybe they won't shut down Concord. They'll just keep that thing around just to have it. But I feel like there is a lot more work going into Concord to keep that upright than there is for Destruction All-Stars. Destruction All-Stars just have bots that go into it, and that's it. Like, there's not enough people around, whatever. We'll just have bots drive around in this arena. But they did take that game and add it in as like a PlayStation Network, PlayStation Plus perk. So I sort of think that's what's going to happen. We're going to get this game. It'll come out next month as usual, and they'll eventually just move it into PlayStation Plus as like a thing you can claim, and that's it. Because if it's like 1,000 people now, it's going to be half that, maybe less when the thing launches, and that's going to be ugly. So I'm not expecting big things for Concord now. But I did ask a question to the people out there on Twitter X. And I asked people what generation do they think was the best for online multiplayer, and I mean the answer was resounding. It was what I expected. The thing I was really curious about would be what would get second place. All right, that was the thing I was interested in, because the obvious answer I think most people are going to say is Xbox 360, PS3, and Wii era. That's like people look at that as their favorite generation for online multiplayer.
I feel like it was the one that like really launched multiplayer into like mainstream popularity. Like, of course, you did like, yeah, SOCOM you had on PS2, you had like a few things on OG Xbox and like whatever, but the era where it was like Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2, your Black Ops, your Gears of War, all of that was just like so iconic. I feel like that's like when people think about the OG days of online multiplayer, like that's like the first thing that comes to mind. You know what I mean?
Well, that was the breakout, because the prior systems you had to like, for most of them at least, you had to buy attachments to even go online.
Yeah,
like this was companies trying to figure it out, and then this was the break point of being like, now
absolutely.
we do it. Go.
Xbox 360 was great.
Aside from PC, clearly.
Yeah, aside from PC. Console gaming, like PS2, you had to buy an adapter, and it was weird, man. Sometimes that thing would work, sometimes it wouldn't. Sometimes you had to power cycle it right before just to get it to work.
Want to play the MMO, you got to get the special hard drive.
Oh. Yeah.
It was like you had to be dependent on like your area having that fast internet. Like, like I grew up in Georgia in an area where like
back then
we were just getting like cable internet. And, like it was just crazy. So anytime I went to a friend's house that actually had the ability to play online with like SOCOM, it was just like mind blowing at the time.
I played Tribes on PS2 on 56K dial-up.
Oh,
that's crazy.
You would actually hear the dial-up noise on your PlayStation, and then
I bet a lot of people don't even know Tribes.
PS2. Final Fantasy 11 was there.
Yeah, I mean, I liked PS2 online just because it was like the first foray for me to get into it, because I didn't play Xbox like that. I only played Xbox online with my friends, because I couldn't afford the Xbox Live back then. But Xbox 360, like Rax said, the Gears was awesome and all that. But PS3 was fantastic for online multiplayer. It was great. You had Uncharted 2, you had Resistance, you had Killzone. You just had bangers after bangers. And it feels like they've evolved online, but has it evolved that much from how it was then? Like, the arenas have been getting bigger and all that, but like Call of Duty, that was like the super breakout hit that everybody played. It was like everybody was on that. I know for me, Call of Duty, COD4, Modern
evolved
Warfare,
in what way?
Like has it evolved in like how you play the game, like how you play online multiplayer? There were,
I think
there's a lot more going on.
Yeah, I think that given especially like when the boom of like battle royale shooters, like I think that it's definitely evolved in tons of different ways. Like not only that, but I feel like when people think about that 360. PS3 Wii era. I don't even know why we're throwing Wii in there, but
hey, you had Call of Duty, Black Ops.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think that when you think about that time frame, like there
Sean would love that era. He loved that era.
Yeah, you only think about shooters, and then now I think there's like so many different types of like online games where you're like, playing like Rocket League and things like what was that game that was super popular? Fall Guys. Like there's so many different types. Yeah, party stuff. Like, I think it's changed in that aspect as well.
Okay, so there's been new style. There's been new styles, but I mean, I personally don't like the Call of Duty that we play now. It's kind of like the Call of Duty that we played before. Yes, you have the battle royale. I mean, I get that, but there was stuff like MAG that also gave us some type of, not quite like it, but there was 200 something players, in MAG and a bunch of different, so we did have those massive when it worked, but we did have it. We did have those. Not a lot of them, but they were there. So I mean, yes, it's definitely gotten better. I'll say that it's gotten a lot better. But I personally haven't had as much fun. I personally haven't had as much fun. And I've played all these type of games. I've played Fall Guys and all that type of stuff. And I don't know, maybe because it felt more fresh to me at the time.
No, absolutely.
That might have been it, because that was like the advent of like the default online, where the 360 had the setup out of the box, and the PS3 and the Wii had Wi-Fi, and you could do all. I mean, otherwise you get the little USB to Ethernet adapter, and that would work. But I think now, so that was an interesting time period, because it was before the battle pass and a lot of the microtransactions. So games that went in the development at the beginning of that generation came out as just games that were just trying to get you to play the game, really. Whereas I will say now you see games come out and it's become so transparent to people that some of these online games start development with the battle pass in mind rather than like just start development with the game itself in mind. It's become so obvious that when we see something like Suicide Squad, we went, wait a minute, did you make this
look at
game
the screens though, John?
Should have the battle pass? Was that always the plan? Like,
look at the screens. The screens are just filled with all sorts of little crystals and pop-ups and little like you play like multiverses. It's like what is all this shit that's all over this screen? I got so sick of it. There's these riffs and these other things. I'm sounding like a boomer, but I don't care. Like this stuff is mad annoying, man. Like before, you used to just be like, oh, here's the multiplayer menu. Oh, you pick your mode. Bam, you get into it. Now there's always, get 15 different glow crystals to over here to shine up to get this character's new extension. And I'm just like, I don't want to deal with it anymore. Like, and I think that's me what's pushed. Like, that's absolutely what's pushing me away. Genshin Impact, all these other games that come out that are like these gotcha games and stuff like that. I don't really feel like dealing with it. So I just don't play, man. I'm just like, I'm good. You know,
like Evan, what were the two games that we played back in the day? There was no like it wasn't some big battle pass microtransaction incentive attached to it. There were two of them. This was back in like 2010, 2011, where we actually played them on PC.
Of course, Bad Company. I mean, I saw
Bad Company too.
I saw the completely true comment, and then I mean, we did other stuff. Trying to remember the other things we did. We played Killing Floor was huge, but then even on console, it was like Mortal Kombat, the first
Mortal Kombat, yeah, when they did the reboot for that.
Mortal Kombat 9. Yeah, I played that online.
Yeah,
we played that great. 360. Yeah.
These are just games we play. Like we weren't like, oh, we gotta get that cosmetic or that battle pass. It was just we just want to play it for fun. And I will tell you this: there is a game right now that Nate and I will play occasionally just for fun. Like there's no battle pass, and we make fun of the game constantly. It's the new WWE game.
Yeah,
make fun of it constantly. It is a terribly broken game in the sense that there is no cosmetics, there's no experience points that you gain, there's no leaderboards. We literally just play it for the fun of the game. That's it. That's the only reason. So if you look at my profile for it, I know, but if you look at my profile for this game, it's so funny because it's like, hey, you have 70 hours in this game and you have 4 achievements because there's no achievements attached to the online. It's hilarious. But that was always it back then. You just play the game for fun, and you didn't have this weird pull from the battle pass, and the game just wasn't designed for that specifically. It's very odd how these multiplayer games start development with already drawing out the battle pass on the whiteboard.
Did you guys play UFC at all?
I played UFC 09. It had Forrest Griffin on the front.
Yeah, Forrest, and then 2010 had Brock Lesnar, and I used to play that online all the time. And
that was fun.
The best feeling in the world is choking somebody's ass out.
Really? I
like that in real life too, OJ.
Choking somebody out in the game is like, you're not going to do that IRL if you're not an MMA fighter. But I've always loved MMA.
I like that. My favorite part was the Superman punch haymaker when they're not expecting it. Hits
keep pressing it
slow
over
motion.
And
And he's like,
instant KO. You get flash KO. It's an achievement.
Yeah.
Flash KO where you
just
knock him out in one hit. Yeah. I would I pick John Jones spinning back fist, knock him out in one hit if you get a clean shot off of a counter. But yeah, man, that was good times back then. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I look back at that 360 generation, like that 2010, 2011 time period. I think most people are gonna look at that as like the peak of multiplayer. At least I do. Yeah. Although there were people who voted for PS5, Xbox Series, Switch right now. Right? People were voted for that. 12.8% of the 3,700 votes now said PS5, Xbox Series, and Switch.
Well, I mean, it's the design difference and what people look for. Because like a lot of these games, we do talk about them designing it for the battle pass, but they also do the casino mindset. Like they'll bring in specialists who work on psychology to keep you in there and wanting to spend money, because that's the goal. It's just profit over product at this point for a lot of these games. So we can say like that the 360 era was the best, but if you're running by the metric of people, I think it's right now technically the Xbox One era, because in that era PUBG dropped, and that I think still holds one of the bigger concurrent things for a first-person shooter game at like 3.1 million. So I don't know, it's up in the air, but I definitely think the Wild West was great, but that's just because the creativity's there because no one knew what the hell they were doing. And then you start you start kicking it out of there because now you kind of know, and now you're like, well, how do we get more money out of this?
It gets become formulaic, but like what Evan's right, like it was you didn't know what you were getting with multiplayer. You know everything about a damn multiplayer game. You know everything, every unlock, every single, they'll tell you, they'll have all these things back then, like Uncharted. Bro, I didn't know what the hell I was getting in Uncharted 2. I just bought the game because it looked cool. There's a TV commercial. I was like, oh, this looks like a cool game. And I played the first game. Then the multiplayer just came with it. And it was just like, okay, this is how it is,
Yeah, the first Fear on Uncharted was so good.
The first Fear game, I loved that online. I played through the whole game single player, and then I start playing online. You just see the weird differences, like when you shoot walls and it kicks dirt up in the room and the whole room gets like smoky and misty and you're still trying to fight each other. It's crazy. It's such a good game.
Yeah, it's maybe that's what it is. Maybe it is the sense that that's when we were a really creative time period because we didn't have a lot of these ideas explored. Now they have been explored, and we don't really have a lot of disruption with the multiplayer stuff. So if you come up with a Concord, there's got to be some kind of disruptive element to it, or it's not even worth bringing to market anymore. These games
it's free to play, and there's no microtransactions.
Yeah, that would do it.
And it earns you discounts on the PlayStation Network.
We're gonna run ads in the background you don't even see and just claim the metrics. It's like, oh, nice, cool.
There is a Rivals 2's coming out. No microtransactions, all characters. I mean, it's gonna be a paid game.
Yeah, Rivals are Aether.
Yeah, Rivals gonna have that. So that's giving up a lot of money. So they're gonna get my money on that one. I'll be playing that online.
But I look at like Helldivers 2, and that is a different kind of game. Like not really have a lot of games you're gonna go to and get that same experience. So that's what you got to come up with. Not let's just make an Overwatch game. But my thing though with the whole Concord thing, and it's very strange, is after what we're seeing with Concord, I'm not really sure why Sony bought Firewalk. Like it's a little strange now looking at it with hindsight. Was that the game that really got them to go, yeah, we need to buy them? Absolutely has to happen. It seems weird unless they really got it pitched as we're going to make you this awesome Overwatch game. What might have done better for them is if they're like, we're going to pitch you this Overwatch game and all the characters are going to be PlayStation characters.
Dude,
that at least would have been interesting.
That would have been so good. Smash Brothers, but a hero shooter.
Okay, that's at least I know the characters. Like, there's already an established lore, and you might even be interested in seeing the characters interact with each other.
It'd be third person, right?
Your
character.
It'd probably be like super cutscenes where it cuts to third person when you're doing your super.
It's so weird in Concord when you do your roll. So you have like a roll that activates passive sometimes. It cuts to third person back for 2 seconds, and then goes right back, and it's like,
because it'd be so weird to be in first person rolling.
Well, no, Cree, which I can't remember his new name, he did it where it just kept the camera. It just lowered real quick and came back up. And that was the
whatever. That's fine too.
Like you're doing like a dancer, like
it was just a little roller coaster dip, and you're back up.
That's funny.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
So this is a game that Stealth brings up this game, and I'm going to keep an eye on this one because I did actually like Splitgate. I thought it was interesting. That's the kind of disruption
that was the wild decision.
I'm talking about.
Hey, this game works. Let's stop supporting it to make the better game. That's really cool.
But this is the disruption.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Halo with portals. Okay, that's different. I like that. And it turned out to be good. And yes, you're right, Evan. They went, okay, we're going to stop this now and we're going to go make another game. Although I guess that's kind of how it used to be. It's like,
we're moving on. Options. You just keep releasing update after update after update so that your second game on a better engine with all the upgrades doesn't feel good to anyone because it's going to have a quarter of the content, or you just do the new game.
Yeah, so Splitgate 2 is confirmed now for next year. So we do have that at least to look forward to. And like I said, I liked the first one. It was kind of janky, but it was interesting. It was different. It was out of left field. So I'm looking forward to that one. But that's kind of the issue so if you're a live service game and you have your game established, that's the issue you run into. You can't stop development on your current one to make the next one. And that's actually an issue Bungie has right now, which is sort of weird to think about Destiny 2. They're kind of
they deleted all the planets.
Yeah. Well, they're stuck because they can't stop making Destiny 2. To go make Destiny 3, they're kind of just in it right now. So, although I did just say that, they have 70 some odd thousand people in there. So it's not like they're struggling, but I'm sure they'd love to be able to launch Destiny 3 tomorrow.
Well, they kind of could keep going because the whole thing, like World of Warcraft's been going forever and they changed engines. Like they just changed. But I mean, it is a console game, so you're kind of frozen. You have to actually update everything from T to B, top to bottom.
Yep. They have like lot checks. They have all kinds of stuff on console. PC a little easier to move around with, but that's I think a lot of people are probably going to agree it's 360, PS3, and Wii. Might be partially nostalgia talking, but I do think there were some really good times then. A lot of franchises started then that also made their way to PC. So there you go. It was a fun time. It was a fun time. Let me go over here to. Here we go. This is from Super Christian. Me World says Famicom Detective Club 1 and 2 out. Fans sleeping. Nintendo drops creepy smiley man. Fans wake up. Wait, what is Famicom Detective Club? Gotcha, suckers. Yeah. Well, hey, like I said, Famicom Detective Club fans, they're excited. Hey.
Yeah, but they didn't wait for you to get your pre-orders in, like put all that stuff together, get excited. And
oh yeah.
Do the refund.
Give us the pre-order. Okay, now we're going to tell you what you just pre-ordered. Yeah. Andy Ackerman says, I'd be happy to pay for Battle Pass and loot box if these companies had job security and revenue sharing for low-level devs. Well, that's
no, that's for the leader's yacht, sir. That's his.
Yeah.
EA just turned over, right?
The company can watch him sail away.
Andrew Wilson, EA just said, well, who the fuck who said something? Why would somebody say something so stupid?
The heart's in the right place, Andy.
Yeah, no, for real. I'm just making a joke.
Jordan's dropout says, can you guys please tell me what you record these episodes on? Is this Google Meet? This is StreamYard. Moved over to them. It's a little easier to do. It records everything, and it seems to manage people dropping in and out pretty well. So we've been trying this out, and I think it's worked pretty well so far. But
I missed the intros though.
StreamYard. Yeah, the intros are a whole thing. I don't mind working that out a bit better. I'll figure it. I'll get there. Callenshaw says, thanks to Skeleton Crew holding up cast. I appreciate it. Good on Rax tagging in as Merc. Got to ask, is he a VR gamer? Looks like he could Monk in Gorilla Tag. What is up with Hyrule Switch Lite in US? Best Buy only. That's, I think, the only place I've seen pre-orders so far, but I think more pre-orders will go up as we go along. But you VR gamer over there, Rax?
I have two different VR headsets. I think that I've used my HTC Vive. If anybody remembers what that thing is, I think I've maybe used that like a handful of times. Like I got what was it? Half-Life Alyx. That game was pretty sick. Other than that, not really. Can't really say I'm a VR gamer.
Well.
So I don't know what Monk in whatever tag.
It's a VR game where you play as gorillas jumping around in an area to try to tag each other.
Nice.
I imagine it's motion sickness immediately for anyone.
Well, I'm glad that I look like I'll be a good Monk VR gamer, whatever that means.
Let's go over to the Halo TV show, which is now canceled. 2 seasons.
Can we talk about The Boys instead?
Yeah.
It's a more important show.
Yeah.
This is the last arc.
Yeah. Can we?
No, Halo TV show is out. They're going to try to save season 3 for Halo TV. That's the idea. Will they? I don't know. I bet you somebody picks it up and just throws money at it. But I feel like someone might now pitch the idea of just rebooting and trying again at this rate. That would
cost a lot.
You could bring it back. They could bring it back as one of those 3D shows, kind of like the old Star Wars ones.
A sad state of affairs with that. I can't believe the Halo TV show got messed up. That feels like a franchise that should have just transitioned easily over to a big screen or just a series on Amazon or Paramount or whatever.
The dude that directed, didn't he say, I don't even play the games? Or didn't he say something along the line of that? I don't even play. I don't even like them. Who cares?
It felt like just disarray in the background for this thing.
Yeah, so you picked the jabroni to begin with. That's what you got. You got yourself that, So that's
the moment he had him walking around, Master Chief walking around without his helmet on for like 70% of the time. I think he just lost a lot of people.
Yeah, he needs to be strong, silent, get business done. I don't know why he's walking around naked and with his booty out and stuff.
Gene says that was fake. The Halo thing.
Oh, okay.
Gene's got it. Gene's got it figured out.
Okay, that was fake.
I will say,
what the hell? So how does he like Halo and still mess up like that? And that makes it worse.
Oh, that's a good one. This is
Kills
a
what he
good one
loves.
here. It's me. I'll say I'd love an ODST show. I would like the idea of them doing a show from the perspective of a human, just a regular human, and they just observe these Spartans around them. I think that'd be really cool.
Rescuing a person, like whole season, go.
Oddly
I
enough,
think that'd be
my
cool.
mom loves the Halo TV series.
Was it
Oh,
the
really?
butt
Okay.
scene?
Yeah, it actually made it was funny because I walked in one day and I was like, "What are you watching?" She's like, "Halo. I love this Halo show." And I'm like, "Try the game." It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Your mom plays video games?
Oh, my mom kicks ass at video games, dude. My mom will beat my ass in everything. She kicks my ass in Mortal Kombat. Her game of
Yo, ass whooped by your mom in video games.
Listen, dude, you come fight my mom, all right?
The guy laughing at you loses to a 12-year-old in Smash at tournaments. Just to be clear.
Hey, those are like the greatest. Those guys are like ranked nationally. You see these 12-year-olds and 15-year-olds in Smash, bro. They're like Evo champs.
Yeah, my mom made me quit Diablo because she was just so good at the game. I was just like, I can't keep up.
Okay.
It's pretty funny.
She actually kills you in Mortal Kombat. Like she rips your spine
whoops
out.
my ass.
Wow.
Can't hang in Street Fighter. I gotta give her a little smack around in Street Fighter, but Mortal Kombat she'll come fatality and
that's how I would go with the Halo. I'm sure some people who liked the Halo TV show, as you're saying, your mom did. But for me, I saw that first season. I was like, man, it's a shame. And that was kind of it for me.
I think it's people that don't really know anything about the games and like the lore. They can get into it, but yeah.
I do like the idea though of it just being a regular person or someone in the army, basically UNSC next to them.
Just a regular dude.
Basically, I mean, a cadet or whoever, and they're just out somehow on this mission. As you said, Evan, maybe you have to rescue somebody or something like that.
Rescue a scientist or something, or maybe a soldier on the front line, and they just land near him and help him out.
And he just ends up with Master Chief or a group of Spartans or something. And I even had the idea of it going further ahead in time, and something is going on with Chief, and you're searching for him. Because I mean, in Infinite, the guy found Chief just floating around in space, but something like that. Like, why did Chief leave? What happened? You can kind of have that mystery throughout the season, and then they have a reveal of some kind. I just feel like you don't have to follow the Master Chief around for the entire season for people to watch it. If that legend is kind of out there the whole time, and they're either tracking or they're just observing. I think that would be the route to go. Get a little creative with the direction rather than just be like, oh, here's Master Chief, and now he doesn't have his helmet on, and he never puts it back on. It's like, okay, great, thanks. So I think that, or they could just go back and retell the Fall of Reach through a series, and that's like a one-off series, and see how that does, because that would actually be cool. That'd be fun as well. Put a bit of a budget behind it. Watch a bunch of Spartans get wiped out. Yeah, that'd be fun. But yep, shame to see what happened with the Halo TV show. And then we did. Okay, OJ, you mentioned The Boys.
Yeah. It's a great show, right?
Were you excited with the Boys this season?
I'm very happy with the season finale for season 4. Very good. Sets it up. Final. I think there's one more season. I think there's a movie.
Final season
5.
Yeah,
Last one coming up.
Last one. I think there will be a movie. Yeah, it sets it up so good. It was kind of slow in the middle. Parts were a little bit slow at times, but overall, I think it finished up so good. And I was not familiar with Starlight's acting game. I mean, she was good, but she really put on a show in that last episode or so. So yeah, it was good stuff. Good stuff.
Don't worry, thinkers, movers. No spoilers for this. No spoilers.
Oh yeah. No spoilers. No spoilers. I feel bad for Huey though, man. He's just like always getting Huey.
He's always Huey. He's always Huey, man. He's always Huey.
He's always kind of getting Huey at times.
I watched through it. I like what I'm seeing with you're right, they're a little slow at times in the middle, but yeah. I think the revelation stuff at the end, the last 30 minutes of the final episode was basically everything. It's like, okay, well, there you go. And they are setting up season 5 for obviously the big showdown and stuff. And if you go through the comics, you can kind of get an idea. Although they've kind of
it's very
from the
far
comics
away
quite a
from
bit,
the comics.
so.
Yeah,
But I mean, you can kind of see that the end point that they're going towards. Obviously, I mean, they've been setting it up for a little while with Homelander looking at the White House and stuff. So this whole time,
yeah. I read I think up to chapter 8 with the comics. I just want to see some of the differences, and the comics are so it's like even more perverse.
Oh yeah,
it like bumps it up by like times 3 or 4. The funniest one was the Homeland, or no, the Deep scene with back. I think it was season 1, and I'm thinking to because I've never read the comics, and then I read the comic, and I'm like, oh wait a minute, this is 10 times worse. This is way worse than the actual show. What happened? So yeah, I just like the world though. I think it's cool. Billy, who's the guy that's like in Billy's head, like his whatever that actor is freaking awesome. The guy that forgot his name.
James Dean Morgan.
Yeah,
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Sorry.
Dude, he the slow parts he made it go. He's such a good actor. Yeah, he's such a good actor. His parts were fantastic. Butcher is awesome. Butcher's like goated, overall. So I was very happy with the last episode. I can't wait. Like
I said, that last 30 minutes of the final episode, like basically made everything work. So I like what I saw there for that. It's just now it's 2026. So that's when the next season's coming out. We got 2 years.
It was 2 years before this season, so it was 2022.
Oh, I assume Gen V will be in there as well to break it up, right? So it'll go from here to Gen V, then back to the boys.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna pause it because of what happened to Polarity. Yeah. So that might cause some issues. They might have already gotten this. First of all, rest in peace to him. But
yeah, it was sad.
Yeah, that was
set up really well in that.
Yeah,
obviously it looked like he was going to really take off with his career and stuff from there.
Yeah, and he was only 27, so that's very unfortunate. So they might delay that or something. They can take as much time as they want, obviously. But yeah, we'll see if Gen V kind of comes back, in there and sees what happened with Gen V. But yeah, Gen V was awesome. Love Gen V.
I like Gen V. It was good.
Yeah, it was good.
So maybe they do that, or like you said, they have to take some time from it there. But it seems like they want to keep the boys franchise rolling, so it makes sense. It's done really well for them. That, and then Cobra Kai also got like its first 5 episodes.
I have not seen it. I can't wait to check it out.
And I'm not going to give an opinion one way or the other. Then I will let you discover that on your own.
When it comes to the boys, do you guys think that they will was there ever going to be like a game? Could they, what would there be for something for like a boys video game?
What they do like game?
Well, I know they have the DLC in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it's just crossover characters. There's characters in Call of Duty, characters in Mortal Kombat, stuff like that.
I wouldn't mind seeing them do a game. I'm just trying to. They wouldn't be able to line it up with the show. They would basically have to do their own original thing and probably pull stuff from the comics. So it would probably be its own universe with the game. That's at least what I figure they would do, because as you've mentioned, Evan and OJ, that they've gone quite far away from what the comics was doing. My fear is that Game Mill gets a hold of it and makes some terrible game.
Oh, dude, gotcha game. Oof. Which Homelander did you pull this week? That'd be great.
Star Spangled Homelander, different Homelander.
And make some terrible, like how they did like G.I. Joe and make a terrible game.
The people that own the boys, you can't let them do that. They got to get a company that can make a good AAA.
That's the problem if they haven't already. I mean, season's going to be over, and then 6 years later we'll get the game, and who cares at that point?
Will they make like a new
movie too?
Yeah, there's the movie, but will they make like a new boy? Like maybe it's like well into the future. You think that's ever going to be a thing?
If the show is big enough that I could see spinoffs, because the Walking Dead spinoffs are just because the company doesn't want to start losing money. That's the whole thing.
It is interesting because it feels like the boys, you need Homelander for it to all work.
Yeah,
and obviously the way that they end with the comics and stuff, it's like they end it there for a reason. So,
but Gen V works with. I mean, Gen V Homelander is still a presence, but I mean, Gen V did work.
That's true. You can still have kind of like a new Homelander almost. Like you can have another Homelander. You can come up with a big, bad boss years and years, decades into the future or something. You can figure that out.
Give the origin story back in like World War II with the scientists making the stuff.
Yeah, they can go back. They can do a prequel with Soldier Boy and all them, right? I mean, they could just kind of go back and maybe do that.
There's a lot of things they could do with that, actually. You're right. They can jump around.
Outside of Homelander, Soldier Boy is like my other favorite, person in there, because he's hilarious.
He is actually pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah, the ultimate boomer.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I like him.
He is pretty funny.
His music video was, I swear I didn't stop laughing the whole time in his music video.
The PS5, okay, the PS5 Pro. We got an update on this. Tom Henderson posted this on Insider Gaming. And it looks like, according to him, it's still coming out this year, although we are we're coming up on August right now. So it does feel like we're kind of running out of time, although he's mentioned that developers still have deadlines in front of them, whether it's having to submit for, as they say, cert ops or certification operations on July 30th. And then also having application stuff for the PS5 after September 15th will be required to have PS5 Pro support. Not necessarily meaning it's going to come out September 16th, just that it will be there and it'll be in effect. And then that No Man's Sky update worlds that we had mentioned earlier, people were data mining it. And apparently, this was posted up on social media earlier today, there are references to Trinity and then references to the PS5 Pro and some graphical settings and stuff that was found there. So it seems like even like that's being prepared to be ready. But if it's not, I mean, it's almost August. I guess people think it's coming out in November. You almost have to get moving a bit with this thing.
Yeah. I thought I saw an article earlier saying that the PS5 Pro is launching this year. And then like right alongside of that, it said it had limited first party support. So what exactly are we getting with the PS5 Pro in general? Like, are we really seeing the threshold of what the regular PS5 has to offer right now? Do you guys feel like that?
I think my belief is that the PS5 Pro is going to say, oh, if you're running at kind of 4K, now it's just 4K or
gotcha
more 4K. There seems to be this thought that it's going to be 8K. That's I don't know I just don't know how necessary 8K is. Rex, do you know anybody who is like who has an 8K
played on my
TV
32-inch 8K screen?
Absolutely not. Like I don't even half the people I know don't even have like really good 4K TVs. If I'm gonna be honest with you,
they got like the Walmart or kind of like the Target 4K TV.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, that's like okay. It's like
pretty
big
much
OLED screen or something. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's usually what people buy are those ones. So
yeah, for my mom's birthday, not to bring her up again, but got a shout out to mom. We got her a 4K. What was it? A 4K TCL like super gamer T. I don't know. It was like the QLED, whatever that one is.
Okay.
The newest QLED that they're like 8 series or something like that. Which was really cool because I was like, dude, this TV has a built-in crosshair. Like you could turn a crosshair on the TV. I've never seen that before. That
yeah, I've seen that before. That's actually really funny to just have. So if you don't have the reticule on like maybe like a survival game or something, I'm trying to think of that would at least just put it there in the center of the screen for you. Technically, I don't know how well. I've never tried it really or see how well it works. That is a funny feature that they added in for like the gamer TCL TV. But the PS5 Pro, that's what I assume is just games will look and run better, which for me is enough. Like I'll buy it for that, but I also understand that this thing is probably going to account for, at the end of the day, 10% maybe of total PS5 sales when it's all said and done. Like it's not going to be some crazy number. Also, this thing is probably, so the Xbox Series X does have a $600 system. It's that 2 terabyte model, which makes me believe that the PS5 Pro is minimum going to be $600. So it isn't even going to be a cheap thing, obviously, or even like decently priced thing. And it's going to be interesting when they try to show it off through stream and it doesn't look that much better. Like crush streams do not.
Are they planning on putting a bigger hard drive?
I would hope so, because that is one of the easiest things you can market to like mainstream and be like, look, it's just bigger number bigger, right? That's kind of the idea.
I'll be real honest with you. Like if they beef up the hard drive space and it comes out at 600, like I probably will buy it, just because I've been waiting on upgrading the hard drive on my PS5 like currently. And if I spent 500, PS5 was 500 when it came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like if I spent 500 and then I'm putting another like 200 just to get like hard drive space in there, like to me, it's almost as like the same, you know what I mean? So I could just get rid of this one, buy the new one.
You could trade that one in, get another one, or sell it, or
exactly.
Oh yeah. That's, I think, you're gonna see a wave of trade-ins for those, really, because it's like I feel like a lot of people are just fine with their current PS5 though. Like I see so many people online who are like, it doesn't seem like the generation started. And I'm like, dude, we're gonna be 4 years in soon.
I just wish I could use an external SSD for my games.
Yeah, if they got to where they had like Thunderbolt in, but it's a little late now. I mean, before he's in, I guess next gen they'll have more throughput, like Thunderbolt or something on the outside, so that you can do that. That I think would be nice to have that option. Yeah, so that's 100%. Otherwise you got to drop the NVMe in, and they've gotten cheaper, but still it is an investment. You know, it's not cheap to do that either. Mine has a 4 terabyte in there, and that was not cheap.
How many Call of Duties can you fit on there? 2?
Yeah, 2.5. I'm curious how they're going to market it. 8K on the box. I assume they took 8K off the current PS5.
16K.
8K.
Calling it.
8K. 16K. Let's go.
16K.
Okay. we'll do that. Tokyo Game Show, though, they'll be there. I figure we'll know about the system by or on Tokyo Game Show. That is end of September. Last week, because if no one else, I mean, Sony, maybe they don't care to talk about it, but third parties will want to start talking about this thing. Like, hey, our game is PS5 Pro ready, so go buy it. Especially if it's an older game. People are going to be buying games or downloading games even for the PS5 Pro just to see how they look now. That's it.
I'm buying it day one, man. I need a new PS5 for just particularly my office instead of carrying it back and forth. So I'll just get that one.
Yep. No one really has talked about what it's going to look like either. Like the PS4 Pro did the triple stack, right? So you had like the 3 stacks. I don't know what they're going to do with the PS5 Pro because the PS5 is already a fairly large system. Even the slim model, quote unquote, the slim, still kind of a big system. So I don't know. I don't know what this thing's going to look like.
Maybe it comes out looking like that dev kit pizza oven thing.
Oh, see, I would buy that. I'd buy if they did a dev kit version of it. I would buy that. I actually think the dev kit looks interesting.
They should do a special edition like that. That model actually looks really cool.
Yeah,
the slice holder.
I mean, it's a great idea to sell a thing on eBay, but it's getting tracked down as soon as it gets plugged into the network. It's over.
Yep,
lost through the ceiling. But that's that. I'm thinking November is when they launch this thing. That's what's been discussed. So they'll have it out in November, probably announce it September for $600. I wonder if it'll come with, I don't even know if it's going to come with a disk drive because that's detachable. This thing might be like $700 when it's all said and done. If you got to buy all the stuff.
That's a good point.
Better come with a disk drive. Come on, man.
I thought about that. That's how you cut down on price.
No,
buy the disk drive.
No, don't even put that into ethos. No,
it's not even about
thought about it. They definitely thought about it.
Existence, man.
Yeah,
it's not even about cutting it down on price. It's about increasing profit as well. I mean, you're going to be buying digital. They get the better markup for it. So
no. If it does that, then I'm.
Jim Ryan was a big fan of the podcast. He's out now, so no one's watching a Sony anymore.
No, I just.
Please, hey, PlayStation Stars came back. My Jim Ryan bobblehead is on full display now. It's back.
Oh, can you hold it up for us real quick?
No. I know my phone's like over there somewhere. Even then, last time I tried to load it up Stars, it still didn't work. So I'm kind of bluffing that it's working right now. Well, that's fine. Let me go over here to some of the super chats. Luke says, with the way Concord is going, what are your predictions for Bungie's marathon?
Isn't it on hold? That's not even a prediction.
I will say I'm a little concerned about marathon because they are going in the direction of extraction shooter. So Escape from Tarkov. I was never really big into Escape from Tarkov. I don't know, Evan, are you big into that at all?
I played it a bunch, but the minutia of it, I enjoy the minutia personally, but it probably keeps a lot of people out. I imagine Marathon would be the more casual extraction shooter, which there's a bigger market share for that, I think, for people to pick it up. It's got the title, which doesn't really matter for the gameplay, honestly. It's just one of those things. It could do well for people maybe interested in it, but I don't know.
If Marathon shows up and it's a hero shooter, then it's in trouble. But I think if it shows up and it's an extract shooter, as they've basically said and described it as, it'd be kind of new to me then, sort of. So I feel like I might be more interested in Marathon as opposed to Concord, just from the play style in general, because it'll feel more fresh. But Escape from Tarkov is very popular.
No, yeah.
We'll play it
No,
constantly.
no matter
Yeah, the
how
whole
much they
thing.
try to screw up with their community,
I
it
was
keeps
gonna say,
going.
had a whole thing where they tried to mess it up, and then they keep rolling. Shinru says, "Evening all. What kind of build are you guys running in Elden Ring? Making a Dragon Bleed build with a new weapon for the DLC and Dragon Faith spells. I have technically a Bleed build. I feel like everyone just it's like the default. What are you running?
Yeah, most people
Bleed build.
bleed.
Bleed.
I was
I got
going
like the
complete
rivers
faith.
of blood, and I need to build up some more faith because I have a spell that I think is going to help me kill the final boss for thorns everywhere. But I need my faith to be like 10 points higher, so I got to go grind 10 levels. But that's what I've been walking around doing a lot of the optional bosses currently in Shadow of the Erd Tree, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I keep finding more stuff. So the DLC is fairly packed at its price point. Like there's a lot. They basically built a whole other game just about. There's a lot happening. And yes, it is difficult, but I'm to the point where I'm like level 16 with my scat tree things. So I'm hitting a lot harder now. So I'm more equipped for the world. But very good DLC. Very good. I'm actually surprised, Evan, you haven't jumped into that yet.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to if I can really latch back into that game because I know it's going to be hundreds of hours. I know it's going to be that.
I picture you starting up Steam in like the middle of the night and it's just looking at you and you're looking at it.
Well, I reinstalled it late at night.
And you're just
I reinstalled it late at night so I could try it out. And then I was 5 hours in and it was sun was coming up. I was like, oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh no, I've done no work.
Elden Ring. No.
This is what I feared.
Yeah, that's
the game's too good.
I gotta pull myself away from games sometimes, man, just to be able to get work done. I gotta do that all the time. So
that is funny. Like, gosh, the game isn't terrible. No. Ryan says Yakuza Like a Dragon, but with the boys, and you play as Butcher. I am buying that game. Okay, yeah, Like a Dragon. So be like, okay, so you would go with like the turn-based RPG style, which RGT apparently is going to show us another game at Tokyo Game Show, and they said it's going to surprise us. So.
I would buy that. That would be a game. That would be an instant cop.
If they buy The Boys visual novel.
I probably, to be honest, I probably would.
Probably would just to see it.
Yeah, I actually probably would. I probably like it too. I'd be like, damn, it'd be like my Hades, right? Where like I hate rogue games, but all of a sudden, yeah, this one's pretty good.
One of those games where if you play it on stream, you will get demonetized 100%.
That's something that would happen. They tease The Boys game for 2 months. I'd get excited and it'd be a visual novel.
Press X to climb up urethra.
Listen. Listen, it'd be better than nothing.
Would it?
I mean, listen, we've got nothing right now. I mean, hey, what if it was a good VN? What if it was actually like a legit good VN?
I am a little surprised. I mean, it takes a while to make a game, but I am surprised no one has been like, we're doing it. We're making it. Because we had that with the Turtles game where they just came out and said, we're making
dude, side scroller beat 'em up The Boys.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind if like WayForward or somebody got a hold of it and was like, we're gonna make one of these just to see. Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
I'd check it out.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Like you play as like Kamiko and like you play as you
play as different characters. You level them up, and beat them up style, and you go through the levels of the games over and over again. And
in the comic, it's a bit different in the comic because like they all like kick ass in the comic, like at the beginning. So I mean, you can make it like that,
Yeah, I would play that. I mean, I feel like we get a lot of these beat 'em up games anyway, so why not? Like they're coming out, and for the most part,
Power Ranger one looks sick.
Yeah, the new Power Rangers one looks good. So why not try it? See what happens. I'll be here for it. All right. I think that is. Make sure I got all the. Oh, I got to check out Streamlabs as well, just to make sure. I will be going around here as we finish up. Let me go over to Rax because he was kind enough to hop in here with us. Rax, where can everyone find you, sir?
So if you guys want to come check out the channel, you can find me on YouTube at Rax the Great. I also stream on Twitch. Not really much going on over there, but if you do want to come hang out on the channel, I'd appreciate it. And maybe we'll see you over there.
This is also have Rax linked down below in the description as well. So make sure you go check them out.
Thank you.
Streaming and everything. Just say you popped over from the Spawncast. Let them know. This is over on Streamlabs. It's from Phil Spencer. It says, isn't it weird that Astrobot is at Evo? It says, I do hear the challenge levels are kicking people's butt though.
Really?
Challenge levels apparently are pretty difficult in Astro is what they were saying.
It's not weird. Sony owns Evo.
That is a good point. That is a good point. So they're going to advertise as much as they can with it.
Yeah.
Was Concord there? Was Concord there?
It's a competitive event. Hopefully it was.
Was Concord there? Is if not, not looking good. Not looking good. Let me go over to OJ. Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, you can find me right here on YouTube. Player Essence got a cool Zelda video. So if you're into Zelda games, old school ones and new Zelda games, got a good video going up tomorrow morning around 11 a.m. Eastern time. I also stream pretty much daily. So if you want to watch, well, we talk about RPGs and Nintendo games and all that. So got some cool videos coming up as well. A lot of discussion videos coming up and a marathon stream that we're going to be doing very soon here, and a giveaway for Metaphor ReFantazio on the PlayStation 5. So a lot of cool stuff coming up this summer/fall. So go subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys having me on, and I double support you guys going over and checking out Rax, because I watch this channel and it's awesome. So multiple, head on over to Rax's channel and subscribe to Rax the Great as well.
Thank you. I put Rax's. It's in there now. I put his.
Don't build me up too much. These guys might show up and realize I suck.
You don't. you don't suck though. You play the game. You interact with the chat. There is nothing. It's good. It's good stuff, man. I wouldn't do it. Notice how I never tell people to go to RGT's channel. I mean,
yeah, that's a good point.
It's like a universal thing, though. It's like more.
No, I'm just messing around. Shout out to RGT. Shout out to RGT.
It's in the
fun fact. Me and Sean are practically neighbors. I could walk out of my house and spit, and it would land in his yard.
I'm sorry, Rax. I'm sorry for you.
When he farts, I can smell it.
Let me go over to Evan.
Oh, you can find me on Kimrex Project if you're into tabletop games, hobby, strategy stuff. New Age of Sigmar things came out, so I'm hopefully going to get some videos out for that soon. And tomorrow I'm going to be streaming for almost the whole day because I got to get a ton of stuff done.
Oh, okay.
And I'll just be around over there, so that'll be fun. Got a lot of projects to work on.
All right, yeah. People checking out Rax. Good stuff. We'll have Rax back on. We'll have him back on. We can have a full-length podcast under his belt there. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in. They'll be back next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you guys then.
Peace.